Hayes is in Dallas, Texas. Hayes, thank you very much for calling the show. I appreciate it.
Oh, Larry, no problem. Larry, why are you saying that the Congress lady and this widow of this soldier has called the president a white supremacist? That's not printed anywhere. What is your source for?
I said the Congresswoman. I said the Congresswoman called the Trump administration a white supremacist administration. The Congresswoman, not the widow.
No, Larry, go back to your tape, Larry. You said where do you get from here to white supremacist?
That's right.
I said white supremacist. That's exactly what you said.
I was talking about the Congresswoman. I was talking about the Congresswoman.
She never called the president a white supremacist.
Okay, what the actual quote is, she said the White House is, quote, full of white supremacists. So she wasn't calling the president. She was calling the president and his entire cabinet members white supremacists. Let me finish, please. Including Ben Carson. So I guess Ben Carson's a white supremacist too, right?
Larry, you're conflating things. She said the president. You said she said the president. No one ever disrespected our president like that.
All right, Hayes, one more time.
You're inciting that.
One more time, Hayes. I never said the widow called him a white supremacist. You were unaware that Congresswoman Frederica Wilson called his entire team white supremacists. So you have no idea what you're talking about, Hayes.
She never called the president.
Okay, Hayes, I'm done with you. Appreciate the fact that you call. You're the same clown that I lit up the other night. So I keep putting you up. You are just one of the most obnoxious callers I've ever had, but I appreciate the fact that you keep listening to the show in hopes that perhaps maybe someday you'll learn something. The fact that you keep listening to the show is indicative of the fact that you are aware that your views are somewhat shaky, and you are listening to my show because you want to make sure that your views are okay. The fact that you keep coming back lets me know that you're insecure about your views. One more time, I never said the widow referred to President Trump as a white supremacist. What I said was, where do you get from that to he's a white supremacist? You then inferred from that I was talking about the widow, when in fact I wasn't. I was talking about Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, who has said, and I'm quoting, the White House is full of white supremacists, close quote. So she wasn't just calling Trump one. She was calling every single member of his White House team, his cabinet, his staff, all of them white supremacists, including Ben Carson, who happened to be black. 888-971-SAGE. Chuck is in Louisville, Kentucky. Chuck, you're on the Larry Elder Show. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it.
Good evening. Guys like that just make me laugh. Hey,
Chuck, no kidding, Chuck. Guys like that is why Donald Trump's in office. It's guys like that who take a disagreement and then go crazy with it and refer to you as this, that, and the other, and people like Frederica Wilson. Yeah. These are the people that put Trump in the White House, and they have no blooming idea they're going to do it again.
I'd like to ask guys like that a question. Where were they at when Ambassador Stevens was being raped, tortured, burned alive, and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, a black president? I mean, correct me with it. Was he voted twice?
It seems to me he was, unless I missed it.
Yeah, and didn't he have a black? Wasn't Loretta Lynch black?
She was, as was Eric Holder.
Isn't it 70% of the NFL football players, aren't they all black?
That's what I heard.
What are they making, $8.50 an hour?
Something like that.
You see my point, man? It's absolutely stupid.
It is stupid.
Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama looked at those people in the face, the survivors and the families of that Benghazi tragedy, sir, looked them in the face and bald-faced lied.
And then when a family member repeated that Hillary said the reason for Benghazi was a video, Hillary said, I didn't say that. So she called the Gold Star widow a liar.
What difference at this point does it make?
Yeah, I was going to go there. She basically called the Gold Star family liars.
That's right. Because she said, I never told them that this was all done by a video. When in fact she told the country it was done by a video.
Stuff is so sickening.
It is. And for this to be Donald Trump's Benghazi, are you kidding me? Benghazi was Benghazi for all sorts of reasons. Benghazi was Benghazi for all sorts of reasons, not least of which is Obama was running with the mantra, Osama bin Laden is dead, GM is alive, and Al-Qaeda's on the run. And the fact that Benghazi occurred would have messed up that narrative. So they told us a bunch of different stories about it. Susan Rice goes on TV, gives 5 different versions of what happened. As we pointed out, Hillary told the Gold Star families it was a video, and then denied that she told the Gold Star families it's a video when they went public and said that. Where was this? Where was Hayes then? Where was Congresswoman Frederica Wilson then?
Yeah, and I'll close with this. It's funny how it's almost like Henry Ford was an anti-Semitic. That's pretty well known. He donated tons of money to the Communist Party. Well, if you buy a Ford, then are you a communist?
Chuck, thank you very much for the call. 888-971-SAGE, 888-971-7243. We're going to play you the new CNN ad, which is really an anti-Trump ad, and the counter to that anti-Trump ad that was put up by Ben Shapiro. John McCain also launched a not-so-subtle attack on Donald Trump, called him essentially a draft dodger. And at least 30 women have accused director James Toback of sexual abuse. There have now been 5 women who've come forward and accused Roman Polanski of sexual assault. Maybe now they won't applaud. 888-971-SAGE. I'm Larry Elder. Don't leave town. News to Ben Carson that he's white. And this is incredible. And as I was saying last segment, this is why Donald Trump won. That's why he's going to win again. You can't even have a political dispute with somebody without your being labeled a white supremacist. And how has Donald Trump manifested his white supremacy? By hiring a Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, who wants to empower urban parents by giving them vouchers. Now, I don't like the idea of further intrusion on the part of the federal government in anything, let alone education. And I think the Department of Education should be shut down. Donald Trump is a populist. He's not a libertarian. He's not a fiscal conservative. He's not a social conservative. He's a populist. How that gets him called a white supremacist is beyond me. I'm used to fiscal conservatives being called white supremacists. After all, you want to take money from people, and you don't want to give people this and don't want to give people that. Donald Trump is expanding government. He wants $1 trillion so-called stimulus package, or he calls it a investment package. Whether you call it a stimulus package or investment package, I call it pork. He's the first president to come in and say that same-sex marriage is settled law. Campaigned in the inner city. Got a greater percentage of the black vote, as I mentioned earlier. But because of this conversation with this widow, overheard by a congresswoman who hates Donald Trump's guts, that's now been tortured and twisted into Donald Trump disses people of color, says this guy on CNN. And his White House is, quote, full of white supremacists, close quote, says Frederica Wilson. An empty barrel is a racist term, for crying out loud. I thought people respected General Kelly. I guess not. I thought people respected Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. I guess not. These are all white supremacists. Does that include Melania too? 888-971-SAGE. I'm Larry.
From time to time, I've been bringing you some business updates. A Brexit business briefing. And here goes for some updated financial news. The FTSE 100 index hit a record high at the close of last week, scaling heights at just over 7,560 points. Even the BBC had to report last week that UK manufacturing growth continues to improve. The Purchasing Managers' Index, prepared by IHS Markit, shows 15 consecutive months of expansion and supports the view of their senior economist that UK manufacturing made an impressive start to the final quarter of 2017. Indeed, industrial production was up 1% in the third quarter, according to ONS estimates. And the United Kingdom has just become China's 8th largest economic partner in the world, according to the CBI. By completing £55 billion of the trade last year with China, we are now second only to Germany in terms of the volume of business that we do amongst EU members. And Silicon Valley has more than doubled its UK investments in tech startups, rising from £342 million in 2016 to £885 million in the first 3 quarters of 2017. And JP Morgan has downgraded the number of staff expected in Paris from 4,000 to just 1,000. And similarly, UBS said its target is to keep as many jobs in London as it can, reducing the number it anticipates in Paris from 1,000 down to a mere 250. And the acceleration of GDP growth from 0.3% in the second quarter to 0.4% in the third. And with unemployment rates now at a 42-year low, we saw the Bank of England returning interest rates to the level they were before the referendum. Ends. There's plenty of good news out there. It isn't all misery. We're doing absolutely fine. And if we sort Brexit out, we'll be doing.
We will make America great again.